Hey guys, welcome to A Little Bit of Monica. We are officially heading into the second half of 2025, which means it's time for a new TBR for July. I am very, very excited for this TBR, as I am always excited for my TBRs because I just love thinking about the books that I might have the opportunity to read during the month. And for this month, I am yet again participating in another month-long readathon, so I have some more details to share about that, as well as me playing my TBR plinko game that has been so much fun to incorporate, and I swear sometimes this game chooses so much violence and other times it's a little bit nicer. So we are going to see what the plinko board is going to choose for me for July, as well as some of the other exciting things that I have going on during the month. First of all, we'll talk about the month-long readathon that I am participating in, which is going to be the Tarot Readathon. This is hosted by Deja's Book World and Noelle 7 Pages, and this is the second year that I will be participating in the Tarot Readathon. And if you're wondering what team I'm on, you can find me on the Swords, which is co-hosted by Books with Lexi, Cat Chats, and Erin Megan. And the way that this readathon works is that basically every tarot card within the deck is partnered with a prompt, and when you pull tarot cards, you take that prompt and you pick a book that's going to fit it. And when you submit those things, it helps give your team points so that by the end of the month, you want to have the team that has the most number of points. There's a lot of different things that go into it, and if you want more information, I have Deja and Noelle tagged in the description. That is what is going to be incorporated into my TBR game for this year, is helping me pick the prompts that will end up informing what books I will be reading. But before we do that, there is one book that I need to mention because I always end up forgetting until the end. But I do have my Stephen King book club book that is not going to count into the TBR game technically. But for the month of July, we will be reading Cujo, which is going to be very fitting for like the hot weather. And if you are interested in joining us, we basically read a Stephen King book every single month over in my Discord, and I'll have that linked in the description as well. But I don't want to wait any longer. I want to play my TBR game. So let's go play some TBR Plinko and find out how many books I am going to be reading for the month of July. Okay, so before we do our first drop, I will just talk quickly about the change that is happening for Plinko for this month so that it can fit with the theme of the Tarot Readathon. So because every book that I read has to connect to one of the tarot cards that I will be pulling throughout the month, I figured what works best for me is to go ahead and pull a bunch of the cards now, fit some books to those, and then I can read them in whatever order I need to throughout the month as they come up. I think that's going to allow a little bit of flexibility on my end, and I think it'll make it a little easier for me to actually read the books that are on my TBR rather than panic because I didn't plan well enough. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use my Plinko tokens to drop into my Plinko board. Like I did last month, I am going to be doing the number of books that'll be on my list, and that means that's how many tarot cards I am going to be pulling right up front. That doesn't mean that I can't pull more cards throughout the month if it comes to that, but just to start us off for the TBR, I'm going to pick the number with the drop, and then I will pull the tarot cards here so that I can match some books to that for my actual list. So let's go ahead and do the first drop and see what happens. I always like dropping it from the middle because that feels like the fates are equally, you know, dispersed throughout. Let's go ahead. Okay, this is not a great start, but the first category, I also forgot to say, the first category I always do is my arcs, and that's because arcs tend to be one of my priorities throughout the month, trying to make sure that I'm reading the books that I have. So I'm going to be reading 6 arcs. So let's see what the random generator is going to do. This is just the website that Deja and Noelle have included in their information as a way to do it online. I don't have a physical tarot deck, so we are going to, I already randomly generated a board here. So we're just going to click, and I'm going to go in order. I'm going to go from the top left corner. We have the Queen of Pentacles is the first one, and I will explain what the prompts are that match these later on. I'm just going to go through these quickly. The next one is the Two of Swords. Next up is the Six of Pentacles. Number 4 is going to be the Hermit. Number 5 is going to be, God, this list is so long, the Four of Pentacles. I am really on the Pentacles for this round. And finally, the 6th card for this selection is going to be the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, we're really just settling into those Pentacles this time. And now it's time to go pick some books. We are off to a great start already. Okay, starting off really strong, really high numbers here. Thank you, Plinko. 6 books is a lot to have to read. So I think what I'm gonna do, and after looking through my ARC selections, I'm going to have to change a couple of things about how I pick the books and attach them to the tarot cards. So what I'm gonna do for now is I'm gonna go over the tarot cards I pulled and what the prompts are that I have to match to, and then I'm going to just go over all of the ARCs I need to read during the month due to when they are published, things like that. And then I'm going to, as I read throughout the month, and I will be vlogging the various books that I'm reading, and I'll go over kind of how they fit into the tarot cards then. But for now, we'll just go over the cards and their meanings. The first one I pulled is the Queen of Pentacles, and for this one you have to read a nurturing or caring type of character or something that focuses on motherhood. The Two of Swords, which is the second card I pulled, this one just has to be a book that has multiple POVs, and honestly a lot of the books I read have this, so I think this is going to be really easy to kind of find something to match. The third card that I pulled is the Six of Pentacles, and this one has to be a book that I received as a gift. The next card I pulled was the Hermit, and the Hermit is a book that I expect that I could probably read within a couple of sittings. So this is a book probably that you feel like it's going to be pretty easy to go through, when you're going to want to absorb really fast, and or is shorter maybe. The next one is the Four of Pentacles, and for this one you have to read a book with rich people drama and or a book about rich people where some of the main characters are wealthy, and that plays into the plot. And the final card for my arcs that I pulled was the Eight of Pentacles, and this one is a character that learns a new skill and or has art in it. So those are the 6 cards I pulled and the 6 prompts that are going to be attached. But let's get into the actual arcs that I have to be reading for the month of July. These are books that all either come out in July that I didn't get to yet, or books that will be coming out in August, to fit with my goal of trying to read the books the month before they release, so that I am making sure that I'm getting them done as close to release day as possible. The first one is going to be a repeat from my June TBR because I didn't get a chance to get to it last month, but I will be reading One Yellow Eye by Lee Radford. This one is a like sci-fi maybe horror about a zombie epidemic where the main character ends up hiding her infected husband, and I don't really know what's going to happen from there, but just in general this sounds like a really fun vibe, so I'm excited to jump into this one and find out all that this wife and her zombie husband are going to get into. So we're gonna put this one on, and then there is another book that comes out in July that I do want to focus on, and it is The Library at Hellebore by Cassandra Khaw. This comes out on July 22nd, and I'm really excited about this book. One, it sounds like it's going to be very gruesome and horrific because a bunch of characters are going to get locked in the library at their school and their professors are trying to eat them. Sounds fantastic. The author is also going to be at a local event, and that is how I got the physical arc of this book. I will be going to the event for this author and getting to hear the author talk about, you know, the writing of the book and how this came about, and I'm really excited for that. I love supporting my indie and getting to kind of like shout about this book, so I'm really excited to read this one and find out just how good it's going to be and just how bloody and gory and gruesome it's going to be as well. But now let's get into the books that I have coming out in August that I need to get to so that I can keep up with my goals. I still have 4 more of these to go through. Next up, we have 2 books that come out on August 5th. The first is The Dead Husband Cookbook by Daniel Valentine. This will not be my first Daniel Valentine, and I did like the one I read before, so I'm really excited to try this one out. And the other one that comes out on August 5th is Well Actually by Maisie Eddings. I've had this arc for a long time and never got around to it, but now's the time, and I love romances and I love Maisie Eddings. I have read from her before as well, so I'm really excited to jump into this one and find out how it is described to be very similar to the chicken shop date idea. I'm very excited for this. Next up, we have a book that comes out on August 12th, and that is Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle. I don't know how I was lucky enough to get this arc. Honestly, I don't. I requested it on NetGalley, and the gods looked down on me in favor because I was approved for the arc, and I'm really excited because I need to read this book relatively soon because in August I will be going to a Chuck Tingle event, which is also very exciting. Lexi and I will be going together to see Chuck Tingle in person, and I just am so excited. So I can't wait to read this book, find out what the hype is about. I have loved the books that I've read from Chuck Tingle previously, so this one is going to be another horror, terrifying type of story that I'm really excited for, and I am very excited to have it on my TBR for this month. And the final book that I have coming out on August 26th is another one that I am just over the moon excited for because it's a Darcy Coates. How bad things can get. I can't wait because I have literally been obsessed with every single Darcy Coates book I have read so far. The way she writes horror, the way she writes a creepy atmosphere is just so impeccable, and I love it, and I cannot wait to try this next one out. So the fact that I got this arc as well sent to me, a dream come true. Truly a dream come true, and I can't wait to read this one. So those are the 6 arcs that I plan on incorporating into my July TBR and matching them to some of these prompts. It may not be the prompts that I pulled specifically from the 6 cards during the arc section. I think I'm going to end up shuffling things around, but those are the 6 books that I need to focus on, and now we need to go in and find out how many books I need to read for my new release section of my TBR. I don't know what to expect, but let's find out how many books I will be reading next. Back for round 2, I did leave my generator up for this time, so we're just going to be building onto the list that I already have. So we're just going to move down the category some more. But first, we need to do another drop, and this is going to be the drop for my new releases. So these are going to be books that I've acquired recently, either new purchases that I had pre-ordered, books that I was gifted, basically just newer releases within the last couple of months that I need to turn around so that I'm not just stockpiling books and not actually getting to them. So let's do our drop and find out how many I will be apparently reading in July. Oh no. Okay, so 5 is better. I really thought we were going for a 7 there. So here's to hoping that I get 5 cards that are going to be relatively easy to match some books to. First one of 5, we have the 10 of Cups, followed by the second card is going to be the Page of Pentacles. Number 3 is going to be, if I can click it, the Chariot. And then card number 4, we have the King of Wands. And finally, for the 5th and final one for this category, we have the 5 of Swords. Okay, that is 5 more books that I have to pick for my new releases that I will be adding to my TBR. Let's go figure out what those are going to be. Alrighty, now that I have pulled all 5 of those cards, it's time to go through what each of those cards is going to represent in terms of prompts for books that I need to read. So let's go through them one by one. First of all is the 10 of Cups, and this one is going to be probably the easiest book to match for, but this is a book that is in my favorite genre. The second card that I pulled was the Page of Pentacles. I don't understand how I ended up getting so many Pentacles cards during these draws, but here we go with the Page of Pentacles, and the book that I need to read is going to be the shortest book on my TBR. So that's going to be tough. Because I'm gonna have to figure out this book after I've picked all the books to be on my TBR and then go with the shortest one. The next one up was the Chariot, and the Chariot one is a thriller. I don't think I have any new release thrillers really to focus on, so I'm probably going to end up reading a thriller arc. But that's a problem for future Monica to actually decide. The next card that I pulled was the King of Wands, and for this one I need to read a book that is set in a different time or world than our own. And then the 5th card that I pulled for the new release category is the 5 of Swords, and this one is one where the main character deals with their past, something where they are going to be reflective, they are going to be dealing with consequences of their actions previously, something along those lines. So now that I've gone over those 5, and like I said before, I'm going to be shuffling these. Some of these are going to end up being with arcs, and some of my arc prompts are going to end up being for new releases, just because some of these are very specific. But I do have a couple of books that I think can fit for some of these, and books that I just want to be getting to as new releases. So first up, we have Finders Keepers by Sarah Adler. This one just came out very, very recently at the end of June, and I am very excited for this book because I've loved the books I've read from Sarah Adler previously. They have been so much fun. I think about Happy Medium on a regular basis, far more often than I ever thought I would. So I'm really excited for this new one, which is kind of like a treasure hunt idea. And next up we have Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This is the most recent book from this author. I have actually never read a book from Ashley Poston yet, which I know is going to be very shocking for people because of how much I love romance books, and I literally have the special edition set on my shelves behind me. But no, I haven't actually read them yet, which makes me feel really, really bad, but I am very excited to be trying this one. Next up, we have Lucky Night, and this one, first of all, I just realized I have Lucky Day and Lucky Night both going on my TBR. How did I do this? How did I do this? This was a total accident. Like, I did not even realize. I have Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle and Lucky Night by Eliza Kennedy. Anyway, both of them are arcs too. The book already came out in March, so this is considered a relatively new release within the last couple of months, and I do think this is going to be a thriller about a hotel that ends up burning down, and I guess it's supposed to talk about the characters that are in the hotel at the time. Not quite sure exactly what's going to happen here. This one's also relatively short. This could be a contender for the shortest book on my TBR, but I don't actually know. Now that I think about it, Lucky Day and Lucky Night might be the 2 shortest books on my TBR, which is really, really funny. But anyway, I am going to put this one on, and we're gonna have a very lucky existence, hopefully. Now, the last 2 books I want to talk about for my new releases are both going to be repeat entries to my TBR because both of these books were on my June TBR before, and I just didn't get to them during June, and I still want to. So first, we're going to talk about A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the sequel to A Fate Inked in Blood, and I absolutely loved book 1 and had book to pre-ordered from the moment that I possibly could pre-order it, and yet I still haven't gotten a chance to read it. And then the next one that I have, and the final book for my new releases, is going to be Shield of Sparrows by Daphne Perry. Again, this was on my June TBR. I didn't get to it, and I'm heartbroken by that because I am really, really excited to try this one out. But we have one more category to talk about, so let's get into the final round of my plinko board, deciding how many books I'm going to be reading for my special edition category to continue my goal of reading through the special editions that I receive every single month so that I'm not getting too behind in stockpiling them. I have an entire shelf back here that is just my special editions that I haven't read yet, so I have a lot to work with. Let's find out how many books I'm going to be picking for it. Okay, as I did before, we're going to drop the final token. This one is going to be for my special editions. And then once I get the number, I am just going to continue with the list that I already have here, pull some more cards, and we'll see what prompts I get for the rest of my TBR. I'm gonna start this over here on the side. I know I said I start in the middle every time, but I'm beginning to think my room may be on a tilt because I keep getting high numbers. So we're gonna start over here and see what happens, how many books I will be reading from my special editions. Only one? Oh, this feels wrong. This feels so wrong, but it feels so right because I've had 6 and 5 already. It's a lot of books. So I'm going to pick exactly one special edition, and that book doesn't really get an option because I only get to pull one card, and that card is going to be The Magician. So there's my one and only prompt for the special edition category of my TBR. Okay, so Plinko decided to take it easy on me for this last round, and I am so thankful because last month was insane when it was picking 7s and 6s. I am very, very grateful to have a 1. So let's take a look at the tarot card that I picked, which was the Magician, and the prompt that is going to be matched with that one. And so for this one, it is fairly straightforward, and honestly, so many of my books are going to fit because the prompt is it has to have a book with magical elements in it. I read a lot of fantasy, a lot of things with magic. This is going to be very easy. A lot of the books that I already have on my TBR are going to fit with this prompt, but I did pick a special edition that also is going to fit with this as well, and I chose Exquisite Ruin by Adrienne May. This one was from Owl Crate Romantasy. I think this was the very first Romantasy book from their quarterly subscription, which I'm very excited for. The book itself is stunning. It has some beautiful artwork, and I am very excited to read this one. I think I will be buddy reading this one with my friend Michelle, so we are very excited to be trying this one out. So that is my TBR. We have a total of 13 books. We have the first 6 for the arc, and then we have 5 more for the new releases, plus 1 more for special editions, and then we have my Stephen King book as well. It feels very, very doable if I can actually stay on track. I feel like I stayed on track pretty well in June. I definitely deviated a little bit, especially at the beginning of the month. I did not set myself up well. I started by reading like 3 books that weren't on my TBR. I think I could do pretty well with this month and hopefully stick to my TBR pretty well, get through all 12. 12 is right around the number of books I'm reading every month anyway, so if I stick to it, I believe in myself that I can read all of these books. A couple of things I'm hopeful for and excited for in July as well. I did mention that I have the event with Cassandra Caw at the end of July that I am really excited for the release of the library at Hellebore. I also have a couple of other fun things. I'll be getting together with my family a few times, going to see some friends a few times, and in general, it's just the summer, so I'm excited to hopefully spend some more time outside when it's not brutally hot like it has been lately, but I'm really excited for all of that. But that is what I've got for my TBR. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of the books that I've talked about here. If you are also participating in Tarot Readathon, let me know what team you're on. Hopefully you're on the swords with me, but if you're not, I hope you end up having a fantastic month as well. And I'd love to hear your opinion on these specific books and the prompts and everything like that. If you have suggestions of books you think that I should put towards some of these prompts on top of the books I've already selected, I'd love to hear those as well because I'm always ready for new recommendations. But in general, I just am so thankful that you're here and watching this video. Again, thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!